Hello, my name is Jana. I live in a forest. Sometimes I make some crafty things, but today no quilting is going to happen because reasons. And I thought that I'm just going to share something that makes me happy. I have a little bit of a shopping problem, and sometimes it brings me joy. I have found something to be hopeful about, and that is like 5 years ago, I think it was very difficult for an illustrator to break out, and what you needed was an editor or somebody who would basically hire you to do things. And it still is to some extent, but for people who make like just artsy illustrations, like people who do draw a lot for Instagram, for instance, they sometimes don't have a way to make a living out of their art. And I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram or any other social media except for YouTube. And I don't follow a lot of artists. I used to, but now I don't. I just fell out. And so I didn't consume a lot of art for, well, several years now. And as I was shopping around, we have three main kind of marketplace websites, Amazon type of thing. And I have my preferences, but I was looking for some postcards. I thought that maybe I want to just look at some art. And I discovered that a lot of independent artists would just print their own stuff and sell it like a small business. They have stickers, they have postcards, and you can just buy things directly from an artist this way. And you don't need to even follow them on social media. You don't have to know who they are. You can just see the art and buy it. And that's exactly what I did. Here's a set of postcards, Russian fairy tale. It's Emily Cards Are You? And she has a very interesting art style. It's very modern. It has a lot of interesting lines, but at the same time it has a lot of traditional vibes. I'm just going to flip through some things. Is it one frame? I wouldn't know that this art existed unless I was shopping around for something to put on my wall. This girl, her name is Anna Fiskova, and she makes those cozy illustrations, probably on Procreate, and they look kind of watercolory, but I'm not sure. Maybe they are. If they are, that would be super cool, but I don't know. They might be digital. I'm going to show you several. And she has sets of 8, and it's like seasonal. So I can buy a set and stick it into my planner or something, or just change out the decorations in my room. And some of them are very, very cool. And there's a winter one. Take a look at that. And I really like that. I can just have art in my home, and I have actually bought some frames. because I wanted to frame one particular postcard that I had for years. I bought it in Prague, probably, or somewhere else in the Czech Republic. It's a couple of piggies. Let's look at them. It's a photograph by Daniel Sperl from the cycle Everyday Celebrations 1995. Aren't they lovely? And I'm going to frame it and put it on a wall. I bought some frames, a set of frames. I believe that if you frame something, it should be either all the same or all different. But I bought some cheap frames just to get me started. I also want to frame something silly. Years ago, I bought a pattern for cross stitch off the internet, and here it is. The Wi-Fi password has changed, so I need to restitch that, and then I can frame it and put it somewhere visible. Do I have any other cool postcards to show you? I traveled a lot. I used to travel quite a lot. I like to travel. I like just this feeling of not being anywhere in particular. I like Prague, and I especially like the Prague postcard market because a lot of postcards look like this. They're very artsy. So photography in Prague is very... Some photos are just, you know, it's a good photograph, but nothing special. A lot of black and white pictures, but some of them are like double exposure, and they have something else beside they just... Here is a depiction of reality. Like, that's just a nice photograph of children, and was probably sold at a touristy place, and that's just a good photograph. I'm not going to show you the framing and the creation of the gallery wall today because I probably won't get to it today, but I will frame one postcard. It doesn't quite fit. I had to trim the top and bottom, and now the sides are a little bit too narrow, but that's okay. I think that later I can add a little bit something dark so that it doesn't look like such a mess. But now I'm adding a hanger, doing this, and there we go. I have one framed postcard. That's it for today. I hope I inspired you to think about art a little bit and maybe put something on a wall, because I think art deserves to be seen. I tend to hoard postcards and I think, oh, I'm going to send it to somebody, but as years go by, I have less and less friends. I used to have pen pals. We used to send postcards and letters to each other, and it doesn't happen anymore. And I'm not sure if it's sad, but I keep hoarding the postcards that I don't send to anybody. I just keep them to myself, and I think, oh, they're so beautiful, but I don't ever display them. They just sit somewhere in a drawer. So maybe occasionally changing out some artwork on the walls could be good. And also maybe using them in a planner or something. I had a look around a couple days ago to see if on Amazon you can find individual illustrators who would sell their art, just like a small business, and I didn't find any. So either it's not a thing, or I didn't look, or I didn't do a proper search. I'm not sure. But I think it helps to have a following, and it also helps a lot if your art is good. Because when the art is not good, no amount of progress is going to help you sell your art, unfortunately. Yeah. On that positive note, I hope to see you tomorrow with something else. I guess now I'm allowed to do some quilting.